Welcome to another episode of the DunnWisdom Morning Show. This is the show where we introduce you to philanthropists, community leaders, entrepreneurs, and folks who are busy getting it done. My name is Melissa Dunn, and I'm the CEO of MD Marketing Network, the founder of DunnWisdom, and of course, I'm a candidate for Lauderhill City Commission, seat number 2. This is Lauderhill Philanthropy Week on the DunnWisdom Morning Show. So it is our intention this week to recognize some of the leading nonprofits in our community, to speak to them about their mission, the people they serve, and of course, to recognize the individuals and organizations that support them so they can continue to support our community. So today we're kicking the week off with the Children's Services Council of Broward County, and we are being joined by Dr. Keisha Grey. She serves as the strategy manager for the Children's Services Council of Broward County. And let me tell you, this woman has a very long and packed resume. Dr. Grey, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here with you, Melissa.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for the work that you do. The Children's Services Council impacts thousands of kids, not just in the city of Lauderhill, but throughout Broward County. Can you share with us some information about your mission?
Yes. So Children's Services Council of Broward County funds over $100 million of funds in our community, all geared towards creating a better community for our children and family in Broward. And we do that through a variety of different things. We fund after-school programs. We also fund some juvenile justice programs as well, juvenile justice prevention programs. We also use our funding to support the backbone support for the Broward Children's Strategic Plan, as well as we do capacity building for our smaller nonprofits in our community so that they can shore up their resources and they're in a better place to apply for awards from other funders in our community, as well as on the national and international level.
Oh, fantastic. So you guys are a really important organization. Really, if you think about it, all of the agencies that you're funding really then kind of make your tentacles kind of go out throughout the county.
Yes.
So you impact kids in so many different ways through so many different organizations. So about how many kids do you think that you impact every year?
Woo.
Don't have to look up the number. I'm just curious because I'm like, if you're funding so many organizations and each organization is serving a lot of kids, wow, that's a significant impact.
So we have over 100 funded providers throughout the funding that we provide in our community. And so on a given day, we have several after-school programs running. And so the number, I think, would be probably over, in an annual year, over 500,000 kids that we actually touch through our dollars. But again, as you mentioned, you know, our tentacles reach so far. So they might not be involved in, let's say, a after-school program, but their parent might be involved in one of our programs through Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, that is geared towards making sure our children and our mothers and our families are safe. So, you know, it reaches so far. We have our drowning prevention program as well. So there's so much. We have the family resource guide that is actually currently available on our website. So if anybody is looking for childcare or just looking for any information around keeping your children safe during this time, you can go to our website and you will have there the family resource guide, which Andrew Leone spearheads that project every year for the council. And we have several providers who are listed there who do childcare. We have information about the school board there as well, just about anything a family will need to support their child from 0 to 20.
Oh, I love that. That's actually one of my go-to guides.
Yes,
so
yes.
Thank you for producing it. Let me ask you, why is philanthropy so important, Dr. Grey?
Woo, why is philanthropy so important? So I think outside of just the work that Children's Services Council does, when you think about the work that comes through collaboration, I think the new way that they're describing Broward County is collaboration city, collaboration center. And so through philanthropic work in our community, we're able to better serve our children and families. If we didn't have the opportunity for our nonprofits, even some of our for-profit entities to really collaborate in our community, we would not be able to do the things we would do. Let's think about during the COVID, during this pandemic that we're responding to. Food insecurity has been the #1 issue in our community. And so through the work of collaboration and philanthropy organizations, we've been able to really really scale up the food provision that we were doing before. And now we have an entire network together for Broward where you can log on to the website and just find where you might be able to find food on any given day in Broward, as long as you're a Broward resident.
Oh, I love that. What's the website again? Together Broward?
Together for Broward.
Okay. The number 4 or the word 4 in the website?
The number 4.
Okay. Together for Broward. That's where we go if we want to find out where food is available anywhere in the county. An amazing resource. Yeah, I really believe in collaborative and collective impact. That's really the only way that we can see true change.
Yes. There's no one agency that's going to be able to do the work in Broward. It really comes together when we all sort of forget, that we're in this for our name and we're branding ourselves and what's the true cause. And the true cause for a lot of our work in Broward is to create a better community for our children and families.
Absolutely. So what does your role entail as a strategy manager for the Children's Services Council?
So I am primarily responsible for providing the backbone support for our collective impact initiative called the Broward Children's Strategic Plan. And so that process, that idea really involves over 40 committees, a lot of partners. We have over 900 people signed up, engaged in committees from anything from, for example, I'll give you an example. We have our agency capacity building committee, which really works to support our nonprofits in our community. And right now we actually have a mini grant out on the street. And so if anybody wants more information, as long as your primary role is to provide services for children and families in Broward County, you can send me an email, kgray@cscbroward.org. And I will be able to connect you with Adama Ducille, who leads up that initiative, and she'll be able to direct you to our website, where on our website you can actually apply for the mini grant. For nonprofits, we also have an upcoming event on August 26th, where you can learn about board development and how to use your board members wisely during this time. And so there are a lot of different resources that through my leadership, I'm able to connect and opportunities for agencies to collaborate, as well as just connect them with resources, trainings that are available in our community.
Oh, fantastic. I love the idea of connecting nonprofits with people who could volunteer and serve on the board. I think that is such an important role. I mean, I know as a funder, looking at the board is part of the structure that you want to see in place, right?
Yes. And so just, your ability to even understand what it means to create a board and to hold your board accountable. These are all free resources that our nonprofit owners in our community can take advantage of. And I would encourage anybody who's not yet signed up for the Agency Capacity Building Committee to do so. And again, they can do so by going to our website and just search Agency Capacity Building, and you'll be able to find that information.
Fantastic. So, Dr. Gray, could you kind of help me to understand, well, if any, so I'm in the City of Lauderhill. Are there any upcoming projects or initiatives that the Children's Services Council is spearheading in Lauderhill?
Yes. So in Lauderhill, we have several providers who are doing work to support our families. We have the Boys and Girls Club who's doing some work, the YMCA as well. And so a lot of our children right now, our parents have to go to work. And so because they have to go to work, there's some families who are not able to work from home, like many of us have the opportunity to do. And so we do have an opportunity for you to reach out to, for example, the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, to be able to have your children attend a proper, safe facility to complete their work during the time that you have to go to work. And so I would encourage anybody to reach out to the YMCA Boys and Girls Club. And again, if you go on our website, we'll be able to direct you to many of our providers who are in Lauderhill actually providing childcare during this time.
Oh, that's so powerful. I was actually talking to my brother who lives in Atlanta, and he enrolled my niece in a similar program at the YMCA in Atlanta. So that she actually is one of, I think, 25 children in her school, in her kindergarten class, that's doing their distant learning from that facility. So it's good to know that that same program exists here in Lauderhill as well.
Yes, and we're currently trying to, again, during this time, we know that this is a need for our families. And so just last week, our council approved us to be able to put some more funds towards really trying to broaden the reach of that program. And so if there are families out there who need that information, I would encourage them to jump on our website or to contact, I know for a fact, Boys and Girls Club, as well as the YMCA are providing services in the city of Lauderhill currently.
Oh, fantastic. So we had the website up there, scrolling across the bottom. So there we go.
Yes, it is. I can see it.
Okay. Well, so you see, I had to look down on my laptop again. This whole ongoing not wanting to wear my glasses situation comes back to haunt me sometimes. All right. So you guys, good morning. I hope you are, if you have any questions for Dr. Gray about some of the programs and services, do say good morning. Hi, Joy. Good morning. Blessings. So Joy Crawford is one of our members, and she actually has a group for grandparents. So do you, and Jacqueline is saying, hi, Keisha. Do you have any programs for that service grandparents?
And so while we primarily serve our children, we do understand that a lot of our children are living in households where grandparents are the primary caregiver. And so we do have some family strengthening programs that they would be able to access. I would say again, and I'm not just being cliche, but I would encourage our grandparents who are primary caregivers for their children, or even just needing support, to look at the Family Resource Guide. And I am sure one of our providers who are listed there will be able to connect them with, if not one of our family strengthening programs, other providers in our community who are doing the good work. There are many cities who have, now that we're dealing with a pandemic, so a lot of those programs for grandparents are probably not happening, but I know that some cities have also began doing some things virtually to support grandparents as well. So I would encourage them to reach out to their cities as well.
Fantastic. So how did you get into this line of work?
Oh, wow. So, I am from a family who likes to give back. And so that very much, I'm a family of teachers. My grandmother and my great-grandmother were both entrepreneurs who did a lot for their communities. And so by virtue of just how I was raised and even just my own passion, just being able to give back and to be able to support others, this really led me into this area. I began actually my professional career in higher education, supporting our incoming students, supporting students on college campuses. And then I transitioned into our work in the nonprofit arena based on a graduate assistantship I had while I was at Florida International University, working with Panther Pride, which supported students with disabilities who were coming to college, specifically intellectual disability. And so my experience with working with grants sort of gave me this idea, oh, okay, so there's this thing that can help people in our community that people can apply for. And so they're called grants. And so that, I think, started my trajectory down this path. So really just being able to help others, help people, help others is really my drive and passion. And that's why I've continued to work in this arena.
Oh, I love that. Doesn't it feel good when you're working on purpose?
Yes, it does. It does. And when you realize your purpose, I think that has been like eye-opening for me. And also it helps me to self-actualize and to really understand, what drives me, what keeps me going, and to put myself in positions where I'm able to continue to do that.
Oh, I love that. I used to, before I got into marketing, I used to be the director of community health and community health systems and community health initiatives at the American Cancer Society in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran the Manhattan Breast Health Partnership for years. And
Oh, wow.
it was hard, Dr. Gray, as I'm sure you know, because you work in the nonprofit sector. But I never felt like I was working, because every single day my team and I can say that we were impacting the life of women.
Yes.
It's the most rewarding work I've ever done. The least amount of pay, but the
most rewarding.
the most reward. Yeah.
And when you can wake up every day and you're energized to keep going, it just really makes the work that much easier.
Mm-hmm. And so that's part of the reason why our crew here at the DunnWisdom Morning Show decided to partner with Urban Philanthropy Institute to kind of do this Lauderhill Philanthropy Week, because we just want to say thank you. A lot of nonprofits, I think, they don't get the spotlight shone on them that often. And so we kind of, for the first year, handpicked some organizations that I'm personally involved with in one way or the other. And I said, you know what, let's just shine the light on you for a minute.
And I've been really amazed just to see the work of a lot of our nonprofits, and even people who really haven't even like launched themselves as a nonprofit per se, but have been doing philanthropic work in our community. You know, living in Lauderhill and working in Lauderhill, I think, has been a blessing, because I get to see both sides, right?
Yes,
and so
yes.
just to be able to see how we've mobilized as a community, the COVID test centers, how we've really supported each other, the food distribution centers that our commissioners have really made sure have been up and running in our community, the constant updates from our city leadership has been extremely helpful. And so I think, you know, in Lauderhill, we're going to do great things in coming years. We've been an amazing city, and I've really seen our leadership really invest in our community. And we have so many residents who've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. My son actually plays for the Lauderhill Lions. And so, you know, that soccer program, you know, I didn't even realize how much time I was spending with the soccer program until the pandemic hit. And then it's sort of like, okay, what are we doing right now? Because I have nothing to do. And so the city is really vested. Our summer program, my son has attended the summer program for years.
Nice.
And, you know, and it really provides a space for our children to really be supportive. You know, they have fun. You know, everybody in my neighborhood goes to the summer program. And so it was dearly missed this summer. But I know next summer we'll be back.
Next summer it'll be back. Yeah, I think we have to now proceed with an abundance of caution.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to our children.
Yes.
What is it that we can do to support the work of the Children's Services Council? Are you guys looking for, do you accept funding? Do you accept donations, volunteers?
So we do accept volunteers, and you can do so. Many of our programs who need volunteers, we actually work with Hands on Broward. And so you can go to Hands on Broward and you can look for volunteer opportunities there. We don't necessarily accept donations, but we might be able to connect you with an organization who we know is currently doing work in maybe an area that you are interested in, and you'll be able to provide donations there. We have had funders connect with us to oftentimes maybe support some of our RFPs through funding that they might have available. But we don't necessarily go out there and look for donations just because of how we're funded. And so, you know, I would implore anybody who is really looking to get involved to get connected with either the Broward Children's Strategic Plan, which you can get involved through going to the Community Builders section of our website. Or, you know, if you are a nonprofit and you're really trying to figure out, you know, where to harness and to grow in your community, the agency capacity building would be that place.
Got it. Got it. So you mentioned based on the way that you're funding, how are you funded?
So we're funded through your tax dollars. So anybody who owns a home in the county actually pays into the funds that support our agency. And then we turn around and we fund programs in our community to better the lives of our children and families.
Oh, fantastic. So
we used to say it's the cost of a Big Mac.
I love it. I love it.
Very minor cost.
So then really and truly, it is so important for us to take advantage of the services that you offer, because it's taxpayer dollars that funds it.
Yes, and you can actually have a say in that process, and even how we create our RFPs by being involved with the Broward Children's Strategic Plan, because that really is our go-to for finding out information when we want to find out where the gaps exist in our community and what the data is telling us. It's those committees that we listen to, and those people who are involved there that are oftentimes the first set of ears that we're able to listen to.
Fantastic. I know a couple of months ago, Children's Services Council partnered with Commissioner Grant to do a resiliency event in Lauderhill.
Yes. And so, so one of the things that we do as a council is we follow the data. So we listen to what our data is telling us. And what the data told us back then was that in the city of Lauderhill, there was a need for us to really educate our community on what services we had available in the behavioral health arena. And that event, that idea, that collaboration was really bred from looking at the social determinants of health data, excuse me, please, and what it was telling us about Broward County. About the city of Lauderhill. And so we were able to identify that there was a need in our community. And with the work of Commissioner Grant, we were able to identify providers who'd be able to help our residents in the city of Lauderhill. And so we were able to host an event at the Broward Regional Park where families and children came in. There was a leadership development series for our youth. And I'm pulling a blank on her name right now, but she does amazing work around teaching etiquette. And I feel so bad about pulling a blank on her name.
Vernon.
Yes, Jackie Vernon Thomas led a really good seminar for our youth. And I know Dr. Grant is interested in doing that initiative again, especially during this time. As our children are at home and our families are staying home, the mental health crisis in our community is definitely something that we cannot leave unaddressed. And so the council, as well as many providers, are trying to address those needs in our community.
Fantastic. Any final words of wisdom that you want to share with our audience?
Ooh, words of wisdom. I would say that if you are living in the city of Lauderhill and you are not involved in your commission meetings, to begin attending those. If you're not involved in even attending some of our council meetings, do so, because these are the things that really help to change the lives for your children and your family in the city of Lauderhill. And so please, that would be my word of wisdom, is get involved in your community.
Oh, fantastic. And we have folks from South Africa and all over the world that watch the show. So anywhere you are, get involved, right?
Yes,
Dr. Grey?
get involved with your community and look at the data and listen to the data.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for joining us, for helping us to kick off our Lauderhill Philanthropy Week. And we're so grateful for the work that you and your colleagues do at the Children's Services Council. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure, Melissa. Have an amazing day.
You too. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us as we kick off Lauderhill Philanthropy Week. This is when we honor our nonprofits. This is when we recognize the donors and the funders and the volunteers who support them so that they can support our community. Tomorrow, we'll be speaking with another Lauderhill nonprofit, Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies. Their executive director will be here with us tomorrow to share with us their missions and, of course, the programs that you may want to take advantage of. Thank you again for joining us. See you here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Remember, be kind and loving to yourself. You deserve it.